Hello guys. Meow. Hi Colin, Monica, Olivia, Becky. Hi Becky, Eddie. I make this stream because of you, Becky. Becky, Eddie. Because I just opened my YouTube application and I found your comment saying, anybody heard anything about Olena? I'm worried. And I thought, oh my gosh, there are some people who are worried about me. So I should let them know that I'm fine. Becky, I'm fine. And if anybody else wanted to know, I'm fine. Guys, we are alive. And nowadays in Ukraine, uh, when you ask how are you, yeah, you say I'm fine, that means I'm alive, and that's already good enough to stay alive. What I wanted to say that we are at home, we don't hide in the bomb shelter anymore. We kids just fell asleep. It's almost it's 11:30 in Ukraine, so half of an hour till midnight. Yeah, now I am becoming Mrs. I'm fine. You are right, Colin. uh, my cat is not asleep. Finally, he can eat without being disturbed by anyone here. A little bit of a mess as always. And yes, and kids fell asleep. The magic, the time of magic. Well, I'm sorry that I wasn't streaming for a while, I think, but this day I was thinking about making a good video, because streaming is now in the situation like this, I feel it's not enough. I want to say something meaningful to you, something that is worth of watching, not just randomly streaming for you. And I was thinking, and as a result, doing nothing. Because at the same time, I was trying to stay a good mother to my children, or, just at least to feed them, to wash them, and yeah, to hug them sometimes. But today I filmed something. Today I was not cleaning my apartment. I was not doing anything, but for the 4 hours why my babysitter, she's coming for 4 hours a day, almost every day, like the weekdays. This time I used to make a video, but it didn't finish it. I still have to edit this video, and this is what I wanted to do now after kids fall asleep. So kids fell asleep. So they are sleeping in their room, in their children's room. It's hot, so the cat is in the corridor. Yeah, Laura, just say hi when you don't have time. This is what I'm thinking. What I decided to do, just to say hi to you. And my working cabinet, finally, I cleaned it a little bit. Today I put this in my cabinet and I put the flag here. And today I was filming like this, myself standing here, like this, with the flag as the background. Hello, Dave. Glad to see you like this. The real backstage. Now you know all the truth. Yeah, with the flag behind me, and I was trying to say something important and what I find important. And now I need to edit this, and I hope to do it right now before Darina wakes up and finds out that mommy is not hugging her anymore. You know, these diapers just on my working table. Okay. Here you are. So this is the program in which I'm editing my videos. This is DaVinci Resolve. So you see, this is me. I've just started editing. So this is me saying something very important to you, something that I want you to know, want you to hear. So it will be like a little spoiler. Sharon, you give up doing what? Because I haven't read all of you comments. A quick check is fine, no need for a big statement, says Sharon. Yeah, so let's say this is just a quick check-in. Let me know, do you see my like posts? Because recently I was not like posting videos every day or streaming every day, but I was posting some like photographs and information. So the information about the daily uh, sorry, Sharon, I was trying to get a real statement. What do you mean? So I was posting some photographs and with information about the daily terrorist attack of Russia on Ukraine, about their missiles hitting our residential areas, like a supermarket in Kremenchuk, like tonight they had an apartment block in Sergeyevka in Odessa region, very close to my hometown, and more than 20 people died. Yesterday there was another building, and like every day like they launch missiles and they hit the residential houses here. Sometimes I see this. Thank you for letting me know. So you see this, but there is no alert for the posts. You see the post? So it makes sense. Jose, how is your husband? He's fine. We keep in touch and he's fine. Sharon Mosesson wrote something, but I can't see what you wrote, Sharon, at 23:37. Maybe because you changed your mind, or maybe YouTube decided that there is something not good. Posting where on Facebook? Well, I'm posting some information, Mark, on Facebook, and the same. I started to post the same or almost the same on YouTube. So on YouTube, they like before you could post only like a video and stream. Now you can post a short video, and now you can as well post some photographs like you do on Facebook, like newsfeed. Community tab on my channel. Yes, this is what I mean, Natalie. Thank you for letting me know. Yes, my dad is okay. Thank you, Juan. Mother of Dragons, thank you. Yeah, Colin, he is fine, thank you. Thank you, Sharon. Now I see. It's great to see you, even if you're just checking in. You don't need to give us a big statement. That's what I was trying to say all along. Thank you, Sharon. Pastor. I was in touch with Pastor, by the way, today. He called me back. Um, he's fine too. Uh, he's fine. I'm just thinking what I can share with you, which information I can share with you without, keeping him safe and the other guys. Well, what can I say? The friend who brought him the car today, he is organizing delivery of the special like solar panels for him. So instead of diesel engines for like electricity supply, they have found some station that works with the from the sun, gets the solar energy, which is cool. So that's more progressive. And some of the money that you donated and the other like friends of him donated, they are not like there is some money that is not used yet, and it will be used in case if he needs something extra. So Pastor is my friend who was asking for help, and he received this help from from you guys who subscribed. So thank you very much for your help. Yesterday Russians left Snake Island as a gesture of goodwill. Tonight they bombed it with phosphorus bombs. Yeah, global bloodstock. This is the funny thing. We were very glad to see this gesture of goodwill from Russian. They left the Snake Island simply because Ukrainian army bombed the island a lot. Yes, and after this, like their propaganda is lying all the time. At first, they say we left the island and this is a gesture of goodwill, and on the second day, they bomb it. Yeah, so they lie all the time. Hardly any sound, can barely hear. Oh, I'm sorry. See how I'm not talking very loud because otherwise my kids will wake up and I will not be able to edit this video, and probably I want to edit something and put something on my YouTube channel, because I mean almost 25,000 of people subscribed, and like there are some expectations from these people, I believe, and there are people who support me on Patreon who basically like pay me for this work. So I feel like I have to do something, and like you support me, you donate me all the time, so I just no, they are sleeping. I feel responsible. Okay, yeah, amazing news on the Bayraktars. Yes, this is amazing that Pritula Foundation, the link by the way is always in the description of this video. I always post the link to Pritula Foundation, who takes the money donations to buy some very useful stuff for the army. So they fundraised the money worth to buy 4 Bayraktars, even though they wanted to buy 3. And the company that is producing these Bayraktars in Turkey, they said, okay guys, you are so great that we decided to give you these Bayraktars for free. So Pritula Foundation will use millions of hryvnias for buying something alternative, something else which will be very important for the Ukrainian army to fight and to win. Songbird says that she watched a video, or he watched a video earlier of some Ukrainian military in England. They are being trained to use new weapons that the UK government will provide. Yeah, I've seen this news too on BBC Ukraine, I think. And by the way, one of my friends, Pavlo, hello, if you watch me, he told me that he works as a translator from England, like English Ukrainian translator over there in English. Like he is already as a citizen of the UK for many years, yeah, but now he works as a translator. Will it ever be possible for Ukrainian to trust Russia again? I hope no. I hope it will never be possible again. Because this is something that happens, this Russia brings this evil to Ukraine for more than 300 years, but for some reason we trust again and again. Well, there is a lot of Russian propaganda, and people are falling victims of this propaganda, not only in Russia but in Ukraine too. I recently found a quotation of they call him the first Ukrainian president. This is Mikhail Hrushevsky. He was a historian more than 100 years ago, when there was a revolution in Russia and in Ukraine, when the Russian Empire was falling apart. Ukraine was trying to become independent, and he was saying, like, finally, when this war started here, this bloody revolution, maybe at least now the Ukrainian people will stop being blind and stop believing Russian propaganda, and they will see the truth. But what happened next is new Russian occupation. This was Soviet occupation. And if Ukrainians trust Russia again and forget what Russia have committed here in 2022 and what they have committed before, that would mean that Russia wins again and repressed all people who are telling the truth, people like me, basically, my husband and the others. So I hope Russia will not be trusted again, in Ukraine at least, for some very significant period of time. Significant, not during my life period. Are you able to sleep soundly at night? What do you mean soundly? A day without Olena and her family worries us. Randomly streaming is enough to say, to allay our worst fears. Okay, guys, I promise to stream from time to time just to check in and say we are fine. Sleep well. It depends. It depends. Do I sleep well? The thing is like this. I'm afraid to fall asleep because I think that maybe I will not wake up. And when I kiss my kids goodnight, I know that maybe this will be the last kiss. But finally, I do fall asleep. I sleep well sometimes. Sometimes I don't even hear the air raid siren. Last Sunday, when they bombed the city center of Kyiv, I even didn't hear this explosion. I was asleep. Yeah. But when I wake up, I immediately read the news, because if I woke up, it means maybe somebody else here in Ukraine didn't wake up. And I see the new terrorist attacks of Russia on Ukraine. And I'm telling myself, okay, now we have another day to live through this. So you're still alive. The death did not knock at your door this night. So stand up and fight. Stand up and live. Stand up and do what you can. Just stand up and at least make a breakfast for your children. Eat something. Make a coffee for yourself. Then your babysitter is coming, so she will take your kids away. Now you have time to just clean the apartment, just wash some clothes for tomorrow. Just step by step, live through the day. You see, another day, 128. So for so many days you still stay alive, you still stay at your home, your family is not personally injured or traumatized, let's say. So for some reason, so use this day for something good. Just live it, live through the day. And I'm trying to stay grateful that we are still here, you know. You remember how they were saying that Kyiv will fall in just 2 days, in just 48 hours, you remember? And now you see the whole world is supporting us. You remember how they were saying Ukrainian crisis, Ukrainian conflict, instead of calling a spade and saying that this is Russian war on Ukraine, that Russia attacked Ukraine. And now Russia is recognized even by NATO as a strategic danger, threat. So at least it's recognized. And we are receiving weapons, we are promised the weapons, and we are receiving the weapons. Of course, not as fast as we'd like to, but I mean, I don't want to be ungrateful, and this is really cool that we are receiving the heavy weapon, and more than 50 countries promised to do this. We'll see the result. I mean, the reputation of so many countries is already put here on the map, so I think Ukraine will not only survive, but will win, of course. So Stefan is asking, how is the situation in Kyiv, enough food, fuel, etc. So situation in Kyiv is, how to say, it's more or less enough. Regarding the food, we have everything. Public transport works not as good as before, but I mean, it works. With the fuel, there is a big problem. I'm trying not to use my personal private car at all. I mostly stay within my neighborhood and walk on foot, because there is no fuel at the gas stations, and to buy it you need to wait in a very long queue, and it's not very possible for me and my children to do. So yeah, there is a big shortage of fuel. There is as well curfew. I think it's starts after 11 p.m. There are also limits when you can buy alcohol in the supermarkets. But I mean, in the daytime and in the evening, like restaurants, I don't know, supermarkets, this works. The only problem is that Russia keeps launching missiles, and our air defense system protects Kyiv, but it's not 100% protection. So from time to time, our residential buildings are hit by Russian missiles. So it depends how lucky you are and in which building you are. So you really don't know when and if your home is bombed. The same situation everywhere in Ukraine. So it's not safe to come to Ukraine, if you ask me. So you have to be really brave and to have really a reason to come if you want to come. But I mean, Richard Branson recently visited Ukraine yesterday, I think. Yeah, so the rich guy. And it's cool that he did it. It's cool, you know, people like him visiting Ukraine, it gives a big, huge, sign. Maybe with his help, we will even rebuild the airplane called Mriya, the Dream, which is the biggest airplane in the world, and it was constructed in Ukraine, and unfortunately Russians, they burnt it completely when they were moving towards Kyiv. So while I was answering, I maybe missed some questions. Laura was asking, what about relatives in Odessa? Yes, I have relatives in Odessa. This is my husband's brother. He went to the army too. He has a wife and 2 little boys. So his wife and 2 little boys are in Israel right now. They evacuated. They are parents, like our relatives, like aunt and uncle. They are doctors, and they are military doctors. So they are in the military hospitals right now, basically in the army too. My husband's mother, she is not in Odessa, she's in the small town of Podilsk. She's a doctor. Their town was bombed, like the military base close to the town was bombed on the 24th of February, so on the first night of the war. Since then, it was never bombed again. And my father, he's in Izmail in Odessa region. Recently, there was a missile flying towards Ismail, but the air defense system worked, and this missile didn't reach the target. It fell somewhere outside of the town. So my father is worried, but he is fine. Sophia says that she cannot imagine the stress having to live each day as this. Yes, it's really tough. It's really tough, and it's really exhausting. Привет, Raul Gonzalez, my permanent supporter. Привет. Oh, Vincent, bonsoir, bonne nuit. Military needs fuel, I heard. Yeah, everybody needs fuel. I mean, Russians, they bombed all our storages with the fuel in Ukraine. So military needs fuel more than me to take my kids to the zoo, for example. So I can just stay in my neighborhood while the fuel is needed elsewhere. Have your food prices gone up? Not too much, and it depends on which food you're talking about. But in general, it's the prices are not crazy higher than before. I've heard John Toss is asking, I've heard there is a group of volunteers cleaning up areas around Kyiv. I'd like to support them as well as the Ukrainian military. Would you know how to contact them? There is a group of volunteers called Dobrobat, and if you are following me for a long time, maybe you remember a video about my friend who living in a small eco village, Irina, with kids and her husband. So Irina with her boys, she is in the United Kingdom right now, so they evacuated. But her husband, he stayed. Well, he cannot leave the country, and he joined this Dobrobat organization, Dobrobat, which means Battalion of Goodness, and yeah, they help to rebuild the buildings around Kyiv and elsewhere, I think too. John, I will add information about them into the description of this video, okay? After the stream. So maybe come back here tomorrow and you will see it, or come back after the stream and you will see it. You need to sleep some. Oh yeah, I need to edit some video. You see, just a brief check-in, and I'm here already for half of an hour. Blah blah blah. Yes, Elena loves blah blah blah. Okay, guys, hugs to you too. Thank you very much. Short, brief check-in. Thank you for your support. I really feel it. Together we are strong. And yeah, take care. Hugs. Hugs and love. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.